Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me start off by saying I hate when producer Pookie is not here because whenever producer Pookie is not here, I have to start my own videos. And if y'all see me like right before I say good morning, y'all see me looking like a deer caught in headlights, that's because I'm trying to see if this button has connected to my iPad to get the iPad record. Listen, I know a lot of bitches be sitting around saying they don't need no man. I need mine. Anywho, let's get into it. Good morning and welcome back to the Operation Hill 100 Heart channel where we do what? Focus on healing, humor, and hot motherfucking topics. If you're here, do not pump fake. Do not try to hum a stunt. You a nosy ass bitch just like me, and you're here because you're tuned into the Dear DJ segment of my channel. So let's get into this Dear DJ letter. And while I'm waiting to do so, please, ladies and gentlemen, I could have 50 likes, 50 views, and 6 likes. I need for as soon as you hear that, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, you just go and hit the thumbs up on the video. Even if you don't continue to watch the video, hit the thumbs up because what you're doing is you're supporting my channel for free and you're getting my video out in the algorithm so other folks could see it, right? So just do me that favor. Also, when you come in the building and you motherfucking like the video, that's letting me know you're here. All right, let's get into this letter. Dear Deja, this shit is crazy. When I was young, I used to deal with this chick. She didn't have the best reputation, so my moms hated that I was fucking with her. Moving up, Shorty ended up getting pregnant. She said it was my baby. My mom said it wasn't. I personally couldn't tell one way or the other. Because I was hitting that, but Shorty was mad, promiscuous, so I wasn't sure. I ended up taking her word for it and assuming responsibility for baby boy. My mom's never got on board and was dead set against it from the beginning, telling me to get a DNA test. I refused. Do you know my mom snuck and took a DNA test using her and the baby's saliva? Turns out baby boy wasn't mine. I had two emotions, pissed and relieved. Once old girl heard the news, she denied it. We went back and forth, and eventually I cut ties with her and that baby. She ended up moving to another state, and I haven't seen her in well over 14 years. My dad died a few weeks ago, and we were cleaning out my mom's house, and I found some paperwork pertaining to my adoption. I was confused. I confronted my mom about it, and she had a breakdown, but she ended up telling me that I was adopted at birth. DJ, I can't lie, I blacked on my mom. How you got me? From who? Why they gave me up? Who is my real family? So I spent days trying to process it all, and my mind got to wandering. DJ, if my mom's used her saliva for the DNA test for baby boy and she's not my biological mother, then that means the DNA test could have been inaccurate and he might really be my son. If that is the case, I'm telling you, I'm cutting my mom's off for life. I have to find this girl and have baby boy retake the test. I have to confront my moms about this, and with all of this going on, I'm still grieving the man who raised me because these people are not my parents. I'm coming in for a session, but I had to get some immediate feedback. Help your boy out, please, ASAP. Sign, this ain't no kin to me. This is my enemy. But y'all know what I gotta do. I gotta take a sip of my good old water. Mm. Okay. Okay. Mm, 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 mm. First of all, right, let me send my condolences on the loss of the man that raised you because I have lost my dad as well. And, you know, even though he's not your biological father, it seems like your parents really took on the role and took it seriously of being parents to you, so you know him as a dad. So let me send my condolences your way regarding the loss of your dad, right? This is real. This is very, very real. This is very, very real. Let me start off by saying what I always say. I'm not a family therapist. I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist. So if you require a extensive level of care or rather medical attention, then I think you need to research that. And if you need me to, I can drop down in the description box and leave you some resources that I may have, right? But in the meantime, in between time, I'm here to give you my feedback and advice because that's what you asked for. Number one on the list, right? I think you need to stop and take a deep breath. And the reason why I say stop, pause, and take a deep breath because you have to factor in at the moment you are grieving. you are grieving, okay? And right now might not be the best time to be making big decisions because you just suffered a big loss. And you kind of want to work through the grieving stages, and kind of get yourself together and kind of get your thoughts, in the right space and make sure that you're just not making these hasty decisions because of what just took place, right? So let's wait a minute. Let's wait a minute. And again, I understand that it's hard to say that because you're like, Deja, I may have a possible kid out there that I already missed 14 or however many years with, and you're telling me wait more time. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds. And I'm not saying that time means 5 years. I'm just saying relax, because prior to us getting to the bottom of you and the son that may or may not be yours, let's talk about the relationship between you and your mom. Because your mom just lost a husband, from what it sounds like, her spouse, right? And now because of this newfound information, she may just be losing you. You don't know what that could do to mom. And you having just lost your dad and now possibly cutting ties with your mom, that's you losing your parents. You don't know what effect that will have on you. So I think before you go just cutting her off and being done with it, you might want to take a step back and take a deep breath. That's first. Secondly, you need to come in for your healing heart sessions. You need to come in for your healing heart sessions. You need to schedule them because this is a conversation that we need to have face to face and in depth, because I need to hear the story in its entirety, right? I'm only getting a snippet of it from the letter. Okay, boom. Now, I think once you've gotten in a better headspace and you're able to be rational with your mom, and also you've made a final decision, I think it's time to go and have a conversation, right? And I say that because she has a whole version of this story that you're unaware of because you were refusing to hear, I guess, at that time because you were so pissed. And in all fairness, you have every right to be. I'm not taking away the fact that she did some BS, and I'm not taking away from your feelings, not at all. But you heard what she was saying in the letter. I have questions. Where'd you get me from? How'd you get me? Why'd they give me up? Do you know my biological family? Did you get the opportunity to ask her any of these questions? Because it seemed like you just might have got really pissed in the moment, went on a rant, and then disappeared. And now for the couple of days in between that time, you were just there in your head thinking about all of the shit that took place, and you were thinking that those were your parents biologically, and they're not. So I think taking a step back and coming down some until you're able to be rational, right? And then saying to her mom, we need to talk. We need to talk. And one of the things that she needs to be aware of, and this is what you need to share with her because you give me from your letter is what you require, she needs to come with every bit of the truth. Right? She needs to come with every bit of the truth. Not this whole sugarcoating it. You're not a kid, and the facts are already out there. So because of that, if there's parts of the story that need to be shared, she doesn't need to omit anything. You need all the facts. Right? And you have to share that with her, right? So when you share that with her, I can imagine that she more than likely would be interested in having a conversation with you in regards to situation number one, because it's out now. So it's not nothing she can hide anymore. And number two, in doing so, she could, for lack of a better term, she could change the narrative. Because right now you're really basically looking at her as the bad guy, right? But if she gives you the background story, whatever version she has, she may be able to change the narrative about how you view this situation. And also for you, right? Because what it sounds like from the letter is that your frustration is not coming from I'm adopted. Your frustration is coming from why the hell didn't anybody tell me? And I get it. I get it 100%. I actually don't disagree with that. But I think that when she comes to share with you her version of the story, whatever reasoning she gives you, even if whether you like it or not, you have to accept it. What I know about parents and older people is they always think they know what's best for their children and younger people. And now being an auntie, right, because I'm up there with the aunties now, I could sometimes do the same. You know, where it's like, well, I have more life experience than you, and I've been around much longer, and I've been through much more. So let me share some of my wisdom with you so I can protect you. So she may feel like the reason why we didn't tell you is because we were trying to protect you. That could be one of the reasons. I don't know. Right? You just have to give her a sit down and give her a listen and let her share everything with you that took place at that time. Meaning, first off, do you know my biological parents? Because my next question to you is, do you want to know them? If she is aware of who your biological parents is, do you want to be made aware? Do you want to build a relationship? Right? So that could be one of the questions, because it's also, what you said in your letter. And then the order will go as such, like you said in your letter. When, where, why, who, you know what I'm saying? And these are all valid questions because this is your life. A lot of times I share with people, I'm learning getting older that I'm a nosy ass bitch. So people probably think I want to know all that information from my family and digging up the past and all of that to be nosy. But really and truly, sometimes it's for your medical history. Sometimes I need to be able to tell a doctor what the fuck running my family, but I can't if you ain't even telling me who my granddaddy was. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing that, you can share with mom that she needs to factor in is like, I need to know these things. And granted, you will be able to say if you want to build a relationship, don't want to build a relationship, if you want to know who they are, you don't want to know who they are, that's solely your choice. But you need to come with these questions ASAP, as soon as you get your head together. And also, B, you need to really, really request what you need to know. Because it sounds like you're very angry and you're very upset with her. And we want to try to get that emotion at least down to disappointment as opposed to anger. Because disappointment is a strong emotion as well, but it's not a harmful one. Whereas anger can be at times. Right? Okay. The next section of this letter is about the child that may or may not be yours and the way your mom maneuvered that. I think that you need to be very honest with your mom about your feelings regarding that, but also try to get what was going on in her head, right? Because I have two ways that I'm thinking about this. Either A, she never really swabbed the goddamn kid, so I don't know where she would have got results from. That's just me thinking crazy, right? And then the other part of it is, knowing that I would have to ask, right? Were you trying to be malicious? Because you knew that you biologically you're not a relative of mine, biologically. So because of that, no, we wouldn't have the same DNA. But if this is my son, him and I would, or not, right? If he's not my son. So why would you say, well, I use my saliva, knowing that your saliva is null and void in this situation? You're not even my real mother. Also, too, trying to maybe get down to the bottom of what was going on regarding that young lady and your mom. Because I see most of the times, and it's very true, parents are like, listen, I have a daughter, she done came in here with a knucklehead, and I can see that's going to be the downfall of her, so I'm trying to get her away from him. I got a son, he done came here with a thought, I can see that she gonna distract him. That's gonna be the downfall of her. I get that some parents definitely feel that way, and I also get that most of them intervene and interject to say, this is not happening. But at the end of the day, no one can control what someone else does, and as she could see, she couldn't control you in that situation. So to now take it to this level, there clearly had to be a real issue regarding that young lady and your mom. And if I was you, I would be asking, what's the issue? Is there something that her family did and I'm unaware of? Is it something that she did that you're not telling me about? Is it just because of who she is? Because if that's the case, it's fine for your family and your friends not to like your spouse. It's uncomfortable, but it's okay. The bottom line is, as long as there's a mutual respect between the two, they can do whatever they like. So whether she liked the young lady or not, that's a defining factor in building relationships for some people, but it may not always be the end or be all. And for her not to be able to accept that her not liking this young lady didn't mean the end all be all for you two, and for her to go to that extreme suggests that there's some areas of concern and she should really share them with you. What happened? What happened? And you're not going to tell me this is just simply about, oh, she was going to ruin my life with a baby. How you know? So this conversation is way more stickier, than that, right? And once again, you need to be very, very honest and open about the way you feel about what she did, right? And then you also need to share that you're going to revisit that situation, because you don't want her to be caught by surprise when she sees that, oh, listen, I'm back involved with, or I'm bringing forth, or whatever the case may be. No, there's no surprise here. I'm letting you know up front that I will be revisiting this whole DNA thing for that kid, because I need to know if that's my baby. And that's the stand-up thing for a man to do. You definitely should always want to know. Right? Now, here's the section C. You drink a little water of the situation. Section C is now having to go to the might be or might not be baby mama. Right? Number one, you have to find her. Number one, you have to find her, right? That's number one. Number two, your approach has to be very, very, very gentle. Because the way you handle that young lady, from the way you expressed in your letter, if I was her, I would have said, take the DNA, your old decrepit ass mama, your dead daddy, and all y'all motherfuckers go straight to hell and leave me and my motherfucking son alone, right? So, depending on the way you approach this situation, she may curse you the fuck out, right? My advice, number one on the list, is when you find her, right, is to make a request to give an explanation, right? So you can say, like, hey, let's just say Facebook, right? Most times people find people on social media. You can say, hey, you start off with the obvious. I know you don't have shit to say to me, right? My only request is that you will at least hear me out, because I have some information for you. Now, once again, like I said, she could curse you the fuck out. She could ignore you, but you have to continue giving this a try, because this is a pressing matter and you need to know what's going on, right? Let's just be optimistic about this and say, she says, okay, sure, what happened, right? You need to run it all down, and you need to be very honest. Because at that point, she's already off your ass and she is not here for no antics. So if you coming back with a story and it's poppycock, you're going to upset me even more, right? So you need to run it all down from the beginning, right? Back then, this is what took place. And that's why I said ask your mom basically what the issue was with her and that young lady, because you can even offer an explanation for your mom's behavior. Because it was definitely, if nothing else, erratic and insane. Why would you do that? Knowing that you're not even my biological mother. So clearly there's an issue. And I think if the young lady knows, I'm not going to say she's going to give a fuck about it, but at least if she knows that, oh, your fucking mother hated my guts, that's why she made that bullshit up, she would be a little more forgiving of you. Because there's no way for her to not understand that a man is not going to listen to his mother, especially when they're very, very connected, and also when she's providing what you think is proof. So if you share whatever your mom shared with you with her, that might open up the door for her to be a little bit more receptive to where your stance is in all of this. And then you just pretty much lay it down. Listen, I found out when my dad passed away. This is how I found out. I approached my mom about it. She said it's true. So that had me revisit the thoughts of baby boy. And I'm not trying to disrupt your life. I'm not trying to start no trouble. But I honestly, as a man, just would like to know if I'm the father of that boy. Now, what is the show? What's the movie? One of my favorite, I think, is Beauty and the Beast. When they be going to get the beast, and they be like, be prepared. Like, I always say that to folks. Be prepared. Because right now, the request that you're making does not have to be honored. I'm sorry to say. So, After you've given this woman all of this information, I suggest that you tell her, but I'm not looking for an answer right now. I'm going to give you a little time to think about this. Do not make this an immediate thing, because in those moments you'll get her immediate reaction, which might be, fuck you. My son has been fine all this time. Either they can leave me the fuck alone, right? You don't want that. So give her a little bit of time to think. And the reason why I say that is because with all the information you've just given her, she might want to run this by somebody else. She might want to run it by her son. She might want to talk to the man or woman that she has in her life currently about it. She may want to talk to her family about it. You know, so giving her the opportunity to kind of flush through everything that you have shared with her, she deserves that. Because she was the one that was mishandled and mistreated in this situation. So give it to her. Right? Now, am I saying give her a year? I mean, me personally, I couldn't do that. I'd be sitting on my hands going crazy. I probably would give her about a week or two. And then I would reach back out if she didn't reach out to me and say, hey, any updates? And once again, my dear, what you get is what you get. Because I don't take that this will happen so easily and it will be so friendly, because the way it was handled was poorly. And granted, that's not completely your fault, but you did have a part in it because you didn't take your own DNA test. You just took your mother's advice and her this bullshit proof she came with as fact and law. And I get why you would do it, but it still was unfair to the little boy and the young lady. You should have been sure yourself. But as a man, you are trying to rectify those behaviors, and for that, that makes you admirable, if nothing else. Right? So that's what I think needs to happen. Now, while you're waiting, you know, you should also be still trying to rebuild with your mother. Because at the end of the day, I'm here to tell you, whether she's biologically your mother or not, she has raised you for how many other years you've been on this earth, and she's done a damn good job of it. So to just disown her after one poor choice, two poor choices, or three poor choices, it's not fair. So at some point, you have to be open to rebuilding a relationship with your mother. Now, granted, nobody gets to say what that looks like. It can be we just on a high and by basis. Who knows? But at least having a relationship with the person that raised you, it as a respect thing for family, if nothing else. You can let it flow and let it get to wherever it needs to be after that. But the only way for you to do so is for you to go and have that conversation, and not when you're so angry with her, but when you can be open to hearing things out and understanding that you are feeling disappointed and hurt. But I want to be clear and say it's a feeling and it can pass. I can honestly say if you're an adult, then your mom might have more years behind her than she has in front of her. Do you want to spend the latter years of her life being on bad terms with her, when this is a situation that is currently being fixed if you do all the steps and all the work? All right. Oh my God. This is a heavy situation. This is a heavy situation, and I can tell that you're angry because even the way that you titled the letter, which is, this is no kin to me, this is my enemy. And it's like, you think that way about the people that raised you? Clearly there's a lot of anger and a lot of hurt about this situation. And I get it. I get it. Nobody likes to be lied to. I get it 100%. But what I also know is there is ways to rectify this where folks can come back together. Does the puzzle come back? Do you piece the puzzle back together perfectly? Not always. Not always. Sometimes better, sometimes worse. But guess what? The bottom line is what? It's pieced together. So, all right. I love this letter because you got really deep, and this is a situation I've never been faced with, not even in my private Healing Heart sessions. But I will say this, as I always say, I'm praying that everybody could come together and do what's best for themselves, and especially for baby boy. All righty. You need to come and book your Operation Heal 100 Heart sessions, and we need to get this thing rolling and get this process moving. I want to do the work with whoever wants to work. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, like I said, please hit the thumbs up. Please hit the thumbs up. Please hit the thumbs up on this video. Get down in those comments and let me know what you think. What I always tell you guys, anything is up for discussion as long as it's not disrespectful. I don't mind having a dialogue. Get your nosy ass down there and let me know what you think. I appreciate all my new and old subscribers. Stay locked in, and more Dear Deidres to come. Mwah. think it stopped. Let's see. This damn thing is so crazy. It didn't stop. Oh God.